2020, I went into a coma and got diagnosed with brain cancer. Here are like the signs that I ignored and didn't get checked out during that time. Now remember, this was during 2020 in America. It was a very strange time during COVID. So half the reason I thought I could ignore all these was because I just figured I was stressed out and tired from trying to plan a wedding during COVID and not really knowing what was going on. So one of the first things that I ignored was an increase in fatigue. I just remember being constantly tired and just always wanting to sleep. So, and again, this was during COVID, so I always would just tell myself, oh, not going out, not doing anything, I'm stuck at home. That's why I'm tired, barely able to move around and interact with people. That was one of them. I got really disorganized. And typically I'm a pretty organized person. But now I'm not after I had the brain surgery and the tumor was in the location of your brain that I guess deals with organization. Leading up to 2020, I was very organized, very neat. All of a sudden I just kind of started falling apart in that area. And yeah, again, I just thought, I don't know what's going on. I'm just getting disorganized, I guess, as I get older. Let's see, there's disorganization, there's fatigue. One of the ones that I think I'm a complete idiot for ignoring, which one is like glaringly obvious, was my vision would randomly get blurry. I just thought it was migraines. Turned out it was a tumor that was pressing on a vision cord of mine. Now, I remember I went to an eye doctor for this issue, and the eye doctor suggested me getting a brain scan, which didn't follow through on that one, wish I had. And yeah, we would have probably found this tumor a couple years earlier if I did do that. And then kind of right before I slipped into a coma, probably a month-ish before, I want to say, I would get these weird feelings of like ecstasy or like just super excitement. I wasn't sure what was causing this. It just felt like my dopamine or something in my head, which now I know that's what was happening, aka seizure, was just shooting like crazy. And I was experiencing this every now and again. And now I know that that's the, pre-seizure moment type of ordeal, which is like the aura or whatever they call it, that I was feeling. So there's that. And then, but eventually that weird feeling got to be a little too much. So this was in the middle of COVID, and my parents adopted a dog, and they both work jobs that were considered essential or whatever. So I was in an office job. I told them, hey, during my lunch break, I'll shoot over to your place, make sure the dog's not destroying it, or just check on the dog. So I did that. Now, when I got there, I started feeling that weird aura sensation thing, but it was way worse than before. Like, I thought I was like having a heart attack or something. So when I got to their house, and I'm not the type of person, or at least I wasn't, who would like call his wife. I called my fiance at the time. I'm like, hey, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I think I'm having like a heart attack or something weird's going on. And she's like, okay, and I was like, if I don't call you in an hour or two, call me, because I don't know what's going on, like seriously. So anyways, that was when I had my grand mal seizure. She didn't hear from me for like a couple hours. She got super worried. So she was calling me constantly. I wasn't answering because obviously I was in a coma, or not in a coma yet, but I was having grand mal seizures. She gets to my parents' house, sees my car still there. So she gets there. Luckily, my parents had one of those code entry system things to their house. Goes in there, presses, the code, finds me in the basement, breathing like barely, belaboredly, like. That was probably a terrible imitation, but whatever. It's late. So she finds me down there, cold to the touch, like barely breathing. Obviously, calls 911 right away. Cop gets there first. I guess they shot me up with a bunch of Narcan, but clearly I'm not overdosing. And then next thing I know is I wake up in a coma 3 days later, and they're like, "Hey, so we did some scans on you when you were knocked out. Found some sort of growth in your brain." And that's basically the short story of how I discovered that I have brain cancer. I think the main lesson at the end of the day from all this, though, is if your body is telling you something, anything at all, you should listen to it and get that shit checked out if you can. I know I wish I would have before I went into a coma and basically fucked my whole body up.